Howdy doody, folks. Hopefully everybody's doing well on a beautiful February weekend just before Valentine's Day. Hopefully all you guys got your special loved ones your Valentine's Day presents. Otherwise, you guys are going to miss out on the goodies for the rest of the year. Anyway, I'm going to say a quick hello to everybody here. Hopefully everybody's had a good week. But Anthony in here, how you doing, buddy? You're in the background there. Well, you're going to gate crash in a minute. Dave Crooked River, how are you? Rick Bailey, hello. Jean Ricard, Joe Rader, John Benicki, Dwight, how are you? Lehigh River Subdivision, how are you? Tammy and Ray, how are you? My Finger Lakes Railways, I forgot your name, but please forgive me. My memory's bad. Possum Bio, how are you? Rail Enthusiast, how are you? Rick's Railroad, Ron Mowen, Ron Montague, I'm going to call him Montague. Thomas Grasses, how are you? I suppose I'm going to get scouted for my pronunciations on everybody's names. I hope you're hoping Rita has a Valentine's for you. Well, as long as you got something for her, Rick, you'll be all right. Just I see. Where is Wigwag? It's been very quiet this week. Not suitable for under 15. Yes, John Benicki. It's not suitable for people under 15, and we might end up having to change the stream to over 18 only. Depends on how the conversation goes. I have done that in the past. Yeah. So let me bring my partner in crime up. Here he is. G'day, Anthony. How are you? Oh, we're going to be doing some lip reading today. Okay. Silence is golden.
Sorry, my mic was off.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Yourself? Well, we're it's 3 days before my next surgery on my thumb, so I've been trying to get a lot of things done. G'day, Jim Tedesco. Particularly with a project that I've been working on for a while. It's almost come to a completion, and this is for a person that's been helping me out in the distance, far away. He's been relaying and picking up my parcels and whatnot in the US, and I thought I'd do him a favor to help him out. I'm doing, thank God I got the 3D printer, but I've been working on this control panel, and it's for our mate Dave at Crooked River. I've got 2 of them for him for his, don't know if anybody's been following him. He's doing a climb to his top level, and this is going to be for his passing loop, because he was saying he needs to use different point motors or switch motors. So I thought, well, I'll come up with an idea, 3D print the box, put it all together. Just got to do the wire harness for it, and going to send it on its way, hopefully this week before my operation. So, that's what I've been working. Yeah, thanks, Tammy. But he has, Elmar, how are you? He has helped me out during the year. Apart from this guy here, he's been a great help too. He's going to have to come and get his present when he's around. He comes to Australia next year. But if everybody remembers, last year I was supposed to meet up with people, with everyone at Strasbourg. It didn't happen. Thanks to Department of Home Security system and immigration in the US, I couldn't get my visa waiver. I'm still dealing with it. That's going to be dealt with on the 1st of May this year when I go to the embassy in Sydney. That's how long I've waited since April. But Dave's gathered some material for me to hold on to me to it for me, because I was going to come over and I was going to get it off him. So yeah, this is a way of repaying him for thank you, because he has passed the items off to Marty. He's taken it up to Amherst, and it has arrived in Australia, but I'll be getting it at March, because Marty lives up in the Gold Coast, up near Brisbane, where I was. I believe he's going to be coming down for one of the train shows. So we're going to meet up then, and I'm going to finally get the packages from last year. Good things come to those who wait, I suppose. John Benicki, your boss's daughter, she's gone to the worst place in the country, going to Melbourne. She's better off coming here. It's nicer here. People are a lot nicer, laid back, better beaches. I mean, the sand on the beach is that good that even Hawaii bought it from us. No, I haven't yet. I haven't yet, Rick. I'll keep an ear out for the postman this week. I mean, I don't know how long ago it's been since you sent it. I know Tammy sent something out for me as well. I've got a few items to pack as well to send overseas. Oh, she's got a new job in there. Okay. I could think of a better place to live than Melbourne. I used to live in Melbourne, so anyone down in Melbourne, don't take offense. I don't like it down there yet. 20th off the 1st. Yeah, should be here this week sometime, either this end of this week or early following week. It should be here. Takes roughly about 2 weeks from the East Coast to here. That's how long it takes to come here. But don't worry, I'll let people know when it arrives here. So what have I been working on? I've been 3D printing like crazy, I suppose. As well as doing some doing that panel up for Dave. What I have done is I've done a couple of huts for him. I'll bring up my large screen up. Now, these are going to go for his turnout motors, which is going to cover just the little huts, because the turnout motors we're going to be using are getting there. Get up. Don't freak, we've still got to work on this. I've still got to trim this down for you, Dave. These are the turnout motors that are going to be mounted on the surface, and these huts is going to cover them eventually. Once I cut down the lug on the top. So that's what these are for. Then also what I've done is, it's just come off the printer this morning. As you guys know, Richard and I have been working on these Indian Pacific cars, and these are the Lima ones. And I've done some mock printout for the interior for these. And these are not prototypical. The window spacings are not prototypical for the actual Indian Pacific car. So I had to modify the interior. Still not sure how it's going to fit, but we'll have a look at that during the show. I have done a work hut, construction hut. Been trying to use up the filament. I was going to do one more up, but the nozzle's clogged up. And probably seen these during the cab crew Wednesday show, and I've got some Australian foam boxes and a letterbox, if you can see it there. Yeah, which is becoming an icon now because they're very rare to find a phone box anywhere. I did spot one the other day on the other side of the hill. So, yeah. And I think that's all I've done. Yeah, that's all I've done because those boxes. G'day, matey. How are you? From sunny Queensland. Yeah, well, I think we might be getting another storm this afternoon. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad as what we had the other day. On Wednesday here, I'll tell you what, it was freaky. Within an hour before the show, we had close to 8 inches here at my place. And if you guys see my Fun Day Friday video, that water that's across the road and the road, it just came within the hour. I went up the road up to Office Works to get some printouts done and get some ink for my printer, come home, seen these big black clouds, and I thought, I'll have plenty of time to print out and race back up to Office Works to get a poster made up. It didn't happen. So within 10, 15 minutes, the rain came and everything started flooded. Hey, Marty, how are you, mate? Nice to see you. Steve, 87. And some idiots around the corner decided to drive in through the floodwaters, and one old guy was going to drive himself home, which is basically just around the corner, and the water up there. Yeah, we'll talk about it later on tonight, Marty. Some young guy bought himself a brand new BMW. Well, it's been washed down the inside because he decided to drive through the floodwater. I would say there was about 3 feet, 3.5 feet of water to the street to my left. Down the end of it, there was about 3.5 feet of water rushing down from the hills, going down to the lake. The drain just couldn't cope. They were just full of water, literally. I mean, both sides of the streets, I've seen on Facebook, both sides of the street, there was about 2.5 foot of water from the gutter to the road, to the middle of the road. So, yeah, wild as. Hopefully that's the end of it for now. But then again, it is our wet season. When it gets that bad, we just stay home. What's wrong with Anthony? He's usually hammering his head off.
Not usually.
He's a bit quiet, isn't he? And Wigwag's not here.
Oh, I usually wait till you do your basic stuff and then we get going.
Yeah. G'day, Martine. How are you, bud? Nice to see you. Split Rock, how are you? Nice to see you in here too. So that was.
Hey, Thomas.
That's what's been going on here this week for me. Well, yeah, rather enthusiast. The winter has been. It depends where you're going or what you refer to as bad. Bad is no snow or too much snow. Because I know in some parts of Europe where my family comes from, there's no snow there for this time of year. I remember with Granddad when he used to send photos of one from the 70s and 80s, particularly in the 70s, there used to be at least 2 foot of snow at his place. And there is a chap that I follow that's near grandfather's place. It's probably 30 miles away. There's no snow there. So, yeah. But here, I mean, it's normal. We're going through a cycle. We're going through a wet cycle here, and it is our wet season. So we're getting the rain now, and it's going to start drying up after this. Just something we deal with.
We haven't had nearly the snow we normally have this year.
No. I'll see if I can get his link.
We've had rain, but we haven't had snow.
Yeah, we've had a fair bit of rain. We haven't had as much rain as last year. But we had about a month's worth in about an hour. So that gives you an idea how bad it's been here. Let me just try to find this guy's link.
Hello,
It's
just model train efficient auto Chris.
Yeah, LA Chris, nice to see you. I'll just find this guy's I'll just try to find this guy's link. He usually posts quite often. Because he lives in a place called Novi Sad, which is basically in between Belgrade and the Hungarian border.
Yep.
And if you follow his videos, you can get the English translation on it. But you can actually see the construction, how they're updating the track work, converting into high-speed for the high-speed electric trains. His yard does back onto one of the main lines that goes up towards our area. He's worth having a look at. Because they're upgrading the railway line to the Hungarian border. At the moment, they got up as far as Novi Sad. Now they're going up towards a place called Subotica, which is on the Serbian side of the border. Yeah, and it's sort of like just bypasses the area where my mum comes from and dad, but they used to hang out a lot in the city called Subotica, which is or it used to be a Hungarian territory, so it gives you an idea. It's got some interesting trains. There are modified diesels that used to be part of Yugoslavian railways that's been acquired by the Serbian railways. The modified EMDs that were imported from the US, they've been running basically since they had them brand new from mid-70s, and they're still running today. So it goes to show you how good some of the old items were compared to what you buy today. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get this apart so we would see how it fits.
You're just doing squeaky stuff underneath the screen. That's all.
Yeah. I'm doing good things, not bad things.
You're playing with plastic underneath the screen.
Yeah.
Squeaky plastic.
Okay, what did Jim, nice to have Chad having you. Rick Bailey makes. Oh, do we? Thank you. You are getting serious, mate. Hopefully you had a good week. We're here trying to make people happy, but we can't please everybody. We try to do our best. Actually, this didn't turn out. Oh, we'll have to do a little bit of modification. I think my measurement was a little bit out. Let's see how we go. Yeah. It's all right. I can tweak that. So, Let me show you guys. The inside didn't turn out too bad, but my walls are in the walls are a little bit out because you can see them through the window. But it's all right. I can work it out. Just trying to make you laugh, Ralph. This is trying to make you laugh. Okay, so don't take anything too hard. We all have a lot of fun, and I've also got the little plastic insert that goes on the bottom. Let's see how that fits. It's too wide. It's got to be trimmed down a bit, but it's supposed to, because we've got a bit of a gap down on the bottom of the car, just to fill it in so it's all nice and level. How many cars in this passenger train? Well, it is technically a sleeping berth, so we can have, say, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 14 to, I don't know, 14, about 20 people in this car. No one insults anyone in here. We're here to have fun. We just have a funny way of showing things. Went to a bunch of blue box rolling stock, ended up getting 5 for $25. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry about that. Yeah, some of you guys are getting good deals. No, I can't afford it. I've got to spend money on this thing to get it finished. Because I'm going to have to
Wait a minute. You just pointed at me and said you got to spend money on this thing.
No, I meant this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this.
I don't know what was more offensive, that you called me a thing or you felt you had to spend money on me.
Wow, yeah, I've got to spend money on you too. I mean, things are not for free, are they?
Damn straight.
Yeah, yeah. We see, Ralph. You see what I got to put up with. You see, all these things that we get thrown at. And this is the whole thing. Don't take anything to heart in here. We all come in here to have a laugh. Yeah, it might sound like a bit we're insulting, but the Aussie way is we're not really insulting you. It is our way of saying you're part of us. We like you. So,
except you have a continent all to yourself, where you all stay away from the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, we just choose to let choose who we let in. You see, like, if we don't like you, but there's a water there, we'll just stop you there. G'day, John. Can't afford to fix you. Definitely can't afford to fix me, mate. No, definitely can't afford to fix me. I'm training nut. I think we all train nuts in some way or another. We are just a bunch of 3D printing fools, John. Well, yeah, we'll get into that way, but I tell you what, it's come in handy. It's come in handy, and it's like to do the box for Dave here. I mean, for me to mess around with that, it would have taken me ages, particularly the way my right hand is at the moment with my thumb. It would have taken me ages to cut something up and make it right. So with the 3D printer, I just drew it all up. And I did do a test print, but it was a little bit too narrow. So I expanded it and made a few adjustments, and it turned out pretty good. So Marty's going to be doing editing on the Springfield video, so everybody can actually see how the Aussies spend time in America. Split rock, you need a 3D printer. Worst thing about Australia is that they're streaming in the middle of the night. It's not the middle of the night. It's daytime. It's the middle of the day. It's lunchtime. Jeez. I mean, I'm giving up my lunchtime for this. I'm gonna wither away. I'm gonna thin out. But then again, Jean Ricard, some of you guys over there stream in the middle of the morning at the same time. I mean, 3, 4.
No, Jean Ricard doesn't stream. He just goes into other people's streams to annoy them.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's the Danish in him or the French in him that makes him do it.
Both, I think.
The Danish part that invades and the French part that annoys.
You've got a good point there. You got a point. Having lunch now while we speak. Yeah, Marty, of course, you're off screen. You can't have lunch, can you? You can have lunch. I can't. But mind you, I did have an early snack before. But yeah, I just haven't been able to get anything done what I wanted. Because I just created myself a mess and I fell behind time. And when I looked at the calendar, when I came back, I'm like, oh crap. I'm only 2 weeks away from surgery, less than 2 weeks away from surgery. I better get all this done, particularly this, because I've been holding onto this package for too long and trying to get it out to him, but things kept coming up and I go, nah, that's it. I'm turning the phone off, put it out of reach, and I've got to get stuck into it and finish it so I can send it off to him because the box is getting bigger and bigger. I've also got stuff in the background for where is he? For Rick as well, and a few others in the US. I've got stuff building up in boxes, and I just got to get rid of them because it's just using up space. Thanks, Auntie. Now I want pastry. What Danish pastry, Possum? Possum boy, you want Danish pastry? That'd be very nice, actually.
Well, Danish is a pastry.
Yeah. He wants to go to bed. Show you? No, I can't show you, Rick. It's a surprise. Let me say there is a couple of blondes involved. Okay, there's a couple of blondes involved. G'day, Daryl. How are you?
That's a beer to you.
Stop giving it away.
Hey, Daryl.
It's in the other room. It's in the other box, so it's gathering there slowly. And yeah, it's a surprise. You'll see it. You'll see it when you get it. So I'm going to be finding home after Wednesday, which is Tuesday your time. Is my surgery in the afternoon. So after that, I'll be stuck basically not doing much for about 3 to 4 weeks. Won't be able to drive again for about 6 to 8 weeks. G'day, Lake Country. So I've got to find a way to amuse myself and still be
without using your right hand.
Yeah, well, I won't be able to use my right hand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just said you have to find a way to amuse yourself now that you can't use your right hand.
Well, yeah. It's all right, people. It's not what he's thinking. No.
Oh, it's exactly what I'm.
Yeah, we know what everybody else is thinking. I mean, that's why I've got the 18 and over button on the ready. I'd like to have more chin in the top of the head. Well, the problem there, Possum Boy, the reason why some of us have more hair down here than on the top, because we keep going like this. We keep pulling it down. And we pulled it down too much, so all the roots of the hair just come down. Right? So that's why we end up being bald.
So guess where his chest hair is now?
Yeah. That's why I'm eating a lot of Vegemite.
I love how you had to check. Wait a minute.
Yeah, but I'll do something. I'll work something out on here and try to be as constructive as I possibly can. I will work on designing my station for the top level. That's going to be an interesting one. At least I can still do the CAD drawing or the Thinker on here. I can design my station platform and the station building and get it all ready. Because there's some people that have got 3D printers know how long it takes. But even scratch building, it takes time. You're not even here. You know, I don't even see you. I'll put the link up there again. Leave you in the basement for now.
Did you go to the? Did you put the wrong link in?
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's the. Isn't that the?
Oh, hang on. That's the wrong one. Hang on. Let me put the invite back.
There
up.
He is.
Oh, there he is. Let me put the invite back up there for the other people. Yeah, check that link out. Check that guy's side out. I'll put the link there if anybody wants to come up. Now, there is another guy. He apparently works for the railways. And, oh boy, here we go. We've got more trouble here. Hey, Thomas, how are you, bud?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Yeah, no hair on the heads. That's why I wear a hat in the videos, cuts out the glare. Yeah, well, I didn't get to polish mine today, so
Right, man.
No, I got mine right below light, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be working on a few things. I've got to do the work out the circuitry I'm doing for my power connections that's going to be up in here. Just get everything ready and set. So once I'm able to, I've got to get stuck into it, get this done, and get ready on the main section. Because this table's got to go. I've got to get a furniture maker to make me a new table. There is one on the other side of the hill. I'm going to have to pay someone to come out here and give me a hand because once I'm recovered from this surgery, I will be going back to work. And that's going to take my time away from doing what I enjoy. We'll talk about that more when time comes about regarding my Sunday stream or Saturday stream. If I've got my old job still, Dan, yeah, I'm going to continue on with the stream and what I'm doing now. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's still about 4 months away. There he is. Yeah, it's still about 4 months away before I know what's going on there. But I do need and I do want a break. I do want to get out of here. I do want to get out of here. I need a vacation. I need a holiday. I need to get out of here and do nothing. Basically have a break for about 4 to 5 weeks. Just get the hell out of here. Because it's just been full on every day, just 2 or 3 doctor's appointments, physiotherapists, jumping all the hurdles and everything else and trying to get things done. You know, yeah, people think it's fun being at home and recovering from an accident. It's not. I'm pretty much still stuck at home. It was good me driving up to Brisbane. That got me away from home for 2 weeks. But that wasn't really a holiday. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but I'll keep going. I'm not going to give up. I've got a plan in place. You wouldn't believe it. I'm still waiting for that piece of steel, that angle, to go up on here. I think I'll go and get that done Monday morning, get that pre-cut. I'm going to nicely ask Richard if he's listening in the background there, hanging in the background, to come and give me a hand to pull it up. Gerald, how are you? Good evening. Hopefully I said it right this time. Yeah, so I was hoping to get more done than what I had, but I just didn't have the ability. I just didn't have the time. Mental stress, that's been a big one. Just way too much going on.
Careful, you sound like me.
Yeah.
Well, when you have an injury or something like that, first priority is taking care of yourself. You can't worry about other things, And a lot of people don't do that, They just try to do things and then they re-injure themselves and then they're out even longer. So.
Yeah, well, I was just taking it easy. I'm just following the doctor's advice and just taking it easy, just doing bit by bit, and it's been good. Because it's been improving my phone, fine motor neuron.
Now we've got Rick down in the basement, but he's not there. It's just his logo. Does he want in?
Yeah. Roller Thursday. No, he'll come up when he's ready. He's got the key.
Okay.
Roller Thursday Snow I won't be streaming from hospital this time because
the meds are too good.
Yeah, I'm going to keep these nurses to myself. All right. Up at Potts, and it's up at Potts Point, on the outskirts of King's Cross. Our mate Marty here will know when I mention King's Cross. It's like our red light district, so I'm a bit concerned. So definitely.
In other words, they're going to charge you for that sponge bath.
Yeah. Your train running the opposite direction, Daryl. Yeah, they are too. The kids are hemming out. So
huh? The
train's running the wrong way.
How do you figure?
Well, normally it's going left, right to left. Now it's going left to right.
No, I didn't change anything.
Oh.
I just came in. I just got home from Costa Mesa train show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Buy anything?
John,
I bought a couple. I bought a couple of trucks. That's about it. Hung out with a few people. Nobody special, but it was wall-to-wall people because there has not been any train shows in SoCal in the last 2 to 3 years.
Right.
So I was expecting to see, different vendors. Nah, it was mostly people who were selling stuff. Really, there was a lot of layouts that were up, but by the time I got to them, there were so many people there. There was like 2 rows thick of people to watch the trains and filming. So that's okay.
G'day, Janet. How are you?
It was a day out. That's all.
Yeah. It was a day out.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to do that,
Yeah. Sometimes you need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Steve. Well, let's put it this way. I'm not going to be in hospital long enough to be able to get a sponge bath. I'm only going to be in hospital for roughly about 3 to 4 hours. So it's basically just come in. They're going to put a local anesthetic in the hand, numb it down so I don't feel anything. When I come out 2 hours, and then I'll get driven home. I get chauffeur driven home. Janet, she's a local lady. She's from just on the other side of the football field. She makes really nice chocolate brownies, even though I haven't had any for a while. But welcome here. Nice to see you.
What kind of brownies?
Oh, yeah, I like me brownies. I like me chocolate brownies.
Well, are they just chocolate brownies or are they chocolate brownies?
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. I seem to be in a very happy mood after I got them. So
well, then that explains it.
Mm-hmm. I think that might be the chocolate brownies. Yeah. Well, they don't last long. Let's put it this way. Well, Rick, if you come over here, I'll be sharing with you. But I said Gerald's name correct today. Okay, good. Yeah. So you had a good train show. I hate to see what our train show is going to be like in Sydney. We've got some train shows coming up in March. I think it's an epic train show. If Marty's still here, let me know if you're coming down for that one.
How far is Sydney from your place?
By car, it's about an hour and a half's drive.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not far. Marty should have come today. They had lots of brownies there. Thanks. Yeah, we haven't had a train show within the Sydney Basin for about 3 years, just before everything went crazy. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people are going to come out. Yeah, that's a nice shot with that train coming out of the tunnel like that.
That's a great shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that overhang is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's about the time. Mate, you'll be down in August, the race here in August. I don't know where I'm going to be in August, Marty. I don't know where I'm going to be here or... yeah, I should be here, I think. I should be back to work anyway by then. But I do intend to go to the US in October because October is my favourite time over there. You've got such pretty colours there anyway. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, did you buy much at the show there, Daryl?
Actually, not really. I mean, I took a wad of cash with me, but basically it was mostly G scale and G scale. I mean, Lionel and G scale.
Right.
And the last time I went there, I remember there was people selling, stuff for just different kinds of things. It wasn't more like a swap meet. This was more like a swap meet. And, there really wasn't much to choose from. So I had lunch with a couple of people and ironically, it was because of my shirt. I was wearing Jason's shirt today, the Train Freak, and a couple guys friended me, and I don't know, we just hit it off. So we had lunch, and after that, I left and I went to a couple Orange County train brick and mortar stores. So I actually had a really good time at those. That's where I spent some cash.
So what did you buy us?
Well, I bought. I still left it in the bag. Just a bunch of just neat little stuff that you normally can't get online. Right. I didn't actually buy any locomotives, but
well, not if it was all G scale.
No, not if it was all G scale, but yeah, actually I had a Cato locomotive passenger train, and I actually went to go pick it up because he said it would be done, and he hadn't even started on it. So I just decided, since I really don't run passenger trains, my layout's more freight. I would have to not only spend money on the locomotive, putting the DCC in it, I would have to spend, money on buying cars. And I just thought, there's $800 or $900 I really don't need to spend, especially when I'm not going to be running it, Right. So besides, there's some really cool things coming up as far as, the train world is concerned. So I've got my eyes on quite a bit of stuff. So I'm going to wait for that stuff to come out.
Okay. I don't know. I've gone the other way. I mean, I've got plenty of freight trains, but I suppose my freight trains and passenger trains equal out.
I mean, I don't really own any passenger car. So I saw this and he was going to install it for me. And he's one of Southern California's #1 installers. He's so busy. It just obviously he's too busy. So I just decided to right then and there just not do it. And he was okay with that.
Is that one of the Kato engines?
Yeah, it's one of the Kato engines. It's
the new one. It's
it's the black. It's the black and yellow striped on the front. That's got like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful locomotive. It's absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, I don't own any really passenger trains, so it would be quite an expensive venture, Although I will say what Anthony picked up this last week and what he showed on YouTube on his channel, that locomotive, that EMU, that thing is just gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I'd love to run that on my layout too. I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, it's my color schemes too. Only problem is he didn't order the 2-rail version for me.
Well, they make it.
Yours is 3-rail, right, Anthony?
Right, but they make a 2-rail version too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the other thing is, this is something I've got to come up with and work out the design on. Is with that being a German or a European train, they have lower platforms, particularly like in a lot of parts of America outside of New York. And of course, majority of my stuff is Australian, and we use raised platforms. So to do the main station platform, I've got to adjust it so I can actually run my superliner cars along with the standard carriages. The only train that we have that's got steps here is in the Pacific, but they use the stairs for the outback. Like you've got the stair section on the one end. They're used on the outback so that people can go climb up and down on that.
I'm sorry, Artie. I was reading Joe's Black Rock Central Railroads. My passenger service is an RDC, Daryl. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I'll show you what an RDC is, and they're good.
I mean, he said he still was going to do the install for me, and he'll keep it. When it's done, he'll text me and see if I still actually want it. So I don't know.
I don't even think that's close to true railroad enthusiast. I don't think that's even remotely close to true.
It's catching up.
I'm catching up. The last 6 months, I've bought quite a lot, but
yeah. He's got a lot of unique stuff. This will be an RDC. And that's
okay. All right.
Okay. And the thing with these are, I mean, they're hard to get now. You can have multiple units attached to it. You run a DCC in this, and there's your passenger train.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. I didn't know. And if I don't raise my hand and ask a question, I'm not going to know, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you don't
know. Well, we throw a lot of acronyms around in this world, don't we?
Yeah. But what I'm doing with this is I've got 2 of them, but I want to use the ones without the windows as well. They're not prototypically accurate, but I need another 3 because we had these running down here along my line. And notice how I've done the red pilot and I put the diaphragms on it. That's because what they had running here on the south coastline between Sydney and Nowra. Ours were actually, I think, 2-3 feet, about 3 foot lower. So you didn't have this tapered in. But yeah, they make a nice looking passenger train, a rake of 5. And I tell you what, they look sexy on the layout. They really, really do. Actually, let me have a look.
So Ian says you can ride RDCs on the Reading in Northern.
Reading. That's Reading.
Reading. Okay.
It's all right. I'll call it a Reading too, Daryl. So
Well, you have to be from the East to know what that really means.
I did graduate from college. I did.
Yeah, but that's spelled like reading, right? But it's called Reading. That's the name of the town, Reading, Pennsylvania.
Reading. So why don't they just drop the A and keep the D in there?
Who knows? Who knows? That's the way.
The old Irish spelling. Blame the Irish.
Yeah.
I'd like the Raputo ones too, but I mean, I just need mine, Ron, in just plain, just undecorated. Like Richard and I have been talking to him to trying to get a couple of scratch shells from them. And the reason why we want to get the scrap shells is because we want to kit bash them. Because we had a buffet car where the air conditioned dome that's on here is only about half the size.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to do that. Yes.
So you were saying your platforms you have to make adjustments on?
Yeah.
Well, when I used to ride the rails to work, when I went into New York City to work, I was on a train that they had doors right on each of the cars, and the doors would open where the platforms were high. You can go out in the middle doors, but then when the platforms were low, the middle doors didn't open. You had to go to the end of the car where the steps were.
Yeah. I had a look at the station, the way the station sits at Denver, and in Denver, because in Denver they have actually two tracks that have been actually raised up. So the Amtrak's what's his name? The Amtrak's superliners will actually come onto the platform and everyone can step straight off it. In the suburban trains, because they got raised platforms, they're on the either side of it. But to get that to work on here is going to be a little bit more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to work out my
distance. If you're 3D printing your cars, you can make the doors in the middle open and close, and the ones on the ends open and close. And then I
need to get a hold of this guy's printer to be able to do the rail cars, right? Because my bed's just a little bit too small.
Yeah.
Do the proper passenger cars. Yeah, they're self-propelled. Yeah. Yeah, I'll work something out. I did do it on the last big layout that I did do. Yeah, Metrolink would look at home. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I tried my first test print today. Didn't go well.
It didn't?
No. It was huge. I shouldn't say that. I did one of their little builds, which is just a small little statue thing that comes on it, and that came out okay. But it was small and circular, and my problem is consistently the large square things because it just keeps getting warping on the ends. And so I stopped it about a quarter of the way through. But it was a test just to see it. It's a big, the print size on my current 3D printer, and it's a filament, is 400 centimeters by 400 centimeters. So that's about 16 inches by 16 inches.
That's a pretty big object.
That's a big one because I'm trying to print really large buildings because I can't scratch build anymore. So I was hoping 3D printer. I've got an old 3D printer, but I shouldn't say old. It's a Ender 5. But I had some issues with that. It's what they call the static base or static bed, because the extruder does all the moving.
Right.
And then I've got the bed flinger, a giant bed flinger, but it's supposed to be really good. But I just said, what the heck? The little print came out, so I went and tried to do a foot-long wide building, and warping on the ends. But it's out in the middle where the air drafts are going through, and it's just trying to fine-tune the adjustments.
Well, I did find one of my dramas is my window here. I've got to have this window closed because the way it comes out, more particular for the black filament. I can't get to this other window here at the moment. There's too much of an obstacle course. But my black filament, I was just having so much dramas in the black filament, it just went all stringy. The white one goes real good, but now I've got a little bit left of the white filament. And I just wanted to use it up because I hate wasting it to make some little items up. And the nozzle's clogged up. But having a 400 millimeter bed, I'd make my own passenger cars. Particularly with the Australian ones, I've seen there are some stuff out at the moment where you can actually get the print of those passenger trains we had in Sydney. I'd love to get that because they'll be at home on my layout here.
A lot of the passenger cars I saw when I was buying my cars is like 85 footers. They're long, so I imagine I would probably need a 3D printer with a build plate of about 25 miles long to make those things.
Well, to give you an idea, like where do I put it? Our longest car here in Australia is our Union Pacific car, and that would have been our standard length. Actually, no, something's wrong here.
Uh-oh.
I don't think this is the right size, to be actually honest.
Looks like it's short.
Hey?
It looks like it's short.
Compared
Yeah,
to
it does.
Might be why your seat measurement's off.
You still using that same tape measure?
No, I'm not actually. I'm using something different. Actually, I'm going to go and get the scale rule.
He was using cubits.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go and get my scale rule, and I'm just going to work out the length of these. Because I know in scale length, the area that I normally model here, most of those passenger cars were just over 70 foot, say 73 feet long.
Right.
And that won't fit on the bed. In Hobart, especially in scale. That's particularly in scale size, Lehigh, you're right. There isn't that many that are in scale size. I mean, these in the Pacific cars, for example, I don't think that's the right length. To be honest,
but in the American market, that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, it's it seems to me most Americans doing American rail do freight, and therefore the companies that make stock for American model trains make freight, which means the people that like passengers don't quite get the options because the companies don't think it's going to sell, so they don't make it, and then the people who want it don't buy it, and you know, it's a self-fulfilling cycle there.
Well, over here they decided, they're not going to sell it. It's only because they're very expensive. I mean, some of the passenger cars here, we're looking at about $150, $160. And they've got half the detail, not even half the detail to what Rapido's got. And Janet guys are always measuring theirs. Oh, that's it. It's gone. Thanks, Janet. I'm going to go back.
Leave it up.
You can leave that there. I don't think we need to change the age there. She didn't say anything.
Leave it up to Rick to come up with one.
Well, I have quite a few kids, so length wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah.
Yes, but was that true 187 scale or was it 1/100?
So this is a 70-foot car, 74 and a half foot long. I actually think that's Union Pacific, but it's supposed to be longer than this one. This one is.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. 18-inch radius, not no more.
This one's an 84.5 foot. Okay. So this one's actually shorter than what it should be. Harris sets. Yeah. Hey, g'day, Ray, the Rayron VR. Yes, I was going to get the Harris, but also wanted the Tates as well. But I just haven't been able to afford it, particularly when my wages have been cut. Most American, yeah, you're right, Split Rock. Most of the American trains are 85 foot.
You're right.
But with the RDCs, I thought they would have been shorter. Because the RDCs would have been more like a connecting service and whatnot, and where the rail passenger patronage was a lot smaller. I know that one of the main reasons why this state ended up buying the RDCs, these ones here, is because they were self-propelled and they can actually run them during the weekday. They were running them as a 5-car consist, and on weekends they could run them as a 2-car consist when everything was quiet.
So somebody asked earlier, what does RDC stand for?
Rail. Okay, help, help, guys.
Rail diesel car.
Yeah.
Rail. Yeah, there you go. So Marty's got 1 Tate set and 2 Harris on order, and 2 Hatashi sets. What's he doing Hatashi 2 now? Oh, bloody hell. I mean, I can't buy. This is the thing. This stuff that they're coming out, I would love to get it. But if I spend all my money on these trains, I'll never get this finished.
That's right. Be too busy buying things. Finished. Right.
Right. $1,300 is basically, I mean, you got your timber, you got your, I mean, I still got to buy more flex track. I still got to get more curve track. I mean, I'm looking at least $1,500 there. I'm looking at least roughly about another $2,000 to get all the bench work and the track work laid, and that's not counting the scenery. But when you're looking at a set for $1,300, $1,600, it just gets too expensive.
Right. Plus, nowadays the price of wood is so much higher. I'm glad I got my bench work all done before that came up. You know.
Yeah.
Poor 3D printing. Oh, okay. See, a lot of our passenger trains here, like the old Red Rattlers, like what Janet was mentioning earlier. See, the longest ones of them, they were about 72 foot something. They were. But I got enough of them for now. I've got enough of them. I mean, you can never really have enough, but I've got enough of them for this layout. I need to finish this off, but the way things are going, looks like I'm going to have to pay or hire someone to come and give me a hand. And that's going to be the fun part, trying to find someone that's going to come out and give me a helping hand.
Well, Richard lives pretty close to you, doesn't he?
He's busy. He does come out every now. Oh, here he is. G'day, Bernard.
Hey, Bernard.
Hey, Bernard.
Yeah, but he works 5 days a week. And his travel time is about 3 hours a day to and from work in Sydney. And when he comes to the weekend, all he wants to do is have a rest. So he'd help me out bits and pieces here and there, maybe. I really need someone that's going to be able to come over here and give me a helping hand, basically. spend a good week or two up in here, and we'll just get stuck in doing the bench work and everything else. This is by the time I finish this, I'm going to have to get someone to come in and give me a hand. Most of the components are here. I'm just waiting on the track and that. But it's just going to be. It's just so hard, you know. When you haven't got your full use of your hands and your strength and everything else. I mean, am I rushing in it? Maybe I do. Maybe I am. But I just things get so painful at times. You just lose motivation and you just stop doing things. Well, that's what happened with me. I just stopped doing things. The 3D printer, I got that just to ease my hands a little bit with my scratch building because I'm in a similar boat as this guy. Paul Princess shows it and accepts the Athens drivetrain. So they are easy to power. Oh, okay, Marty. We'll have to talk about that later. Not now. I can't. Take the lease that long from wife to father's divorce. Look, Rick, I tell you what. If you were willing to come out here to give me a helping hand with this, bud, we'll
be right for you.
You don't have to worry about the wife filing divorce. We'll just drop them off, her and the kids at the Symbio Wildlife Park up between here and Sydney. They'll have a ball up there. And then we've got theme park down the road here. So no, you'll be right. They'll be happy. Of
course, you guys would have to decide whose beard tickles more.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go there. All right, that is grounds for divorce. But yeah, that'd be. I'll somehow manage. I'll somehow manage. I know I've already had two people that said they're going to come out and give me a helping hand, and they pulled out. So a lot of things I've just been doing. I wish I could help too. I found some mirrors. It seems to help. Oh boy, here we go. That won't help me, mate. That will just show me how big I am, how much bigger I've got since I've been sitting on my butt doing nothing.
Bernard.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Man.
Hey, Bernard, thank you for that. You know what? I'm going to run down to Walmart tonight after the show. I'm going to buy myself some freaking mirrors.
Mate, every time I look at the mirror up here next to me on my right, I'm going, geez, I'm getting fat sitting here. I'll get it somehow. I'll get it done somehow. But I'll get it done.
Everything that I have done has been by myself. I mean, even putting up the 7-inch wide by 8-foot valance covers. I mean, that was just a feat in itself, just to get them straight. And I can tell you, if anybody's put up valances on layouts or anything and had no help, that's 8 feet long, and that's a lot to hold on, and get the screws in and get them lined up with the rest of the valances.
You want to know a trick, Daryl?
Yeah, piss off the wife. Tell her put her slippers on.
No. A trick is you make you take a 2x4 and make a T out of it, and then you push that up against the other end, and that'll hold it up while you hold the other end. I used to put sheetrock up by myself, and that's how I used to do it. On the ceilings, it's really tough. So I used to take a 2x4, make a T out of it, push the other end up, and then I can put the other end up, and then I can nail it until I got to the other side, and then the T comes out. It's really easy.
Yeah. Well, I got really smart. So what I did after I finally made myself a template for the first one, so I can put the screw in. Once I get one screw in and it fits where it's supposed to, I can hold the other end of it while I've got the screw. So once I finally figured out making a template, then it became easy. But I'm telling you, this whole layout was done by me. I mean, I was the only one that did it. And you're right, Joe. My only help has been the dog. And Of course, my dog has been very, very helpful.
Yep.
Chew anything up I leave on the floor.
No, my dog don't do that. He comes in, he looks what I'm doing, then he goes back to wherever he was doing, and he comes back in and check on me every so often.
Yeah.
Gerald, there are things that do grow in the shade, and it's called a mushroom. And they actually help. They get a bit of help from
Moss,
fertilizer
shade
too.
grass.
And yeah, the dog will help. Yeah, I don't have a dog. I've got a rabbit. All he does is criticize.
Rick.
Hey, Doc, you're doing that wrong.
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, Randa was the first one to help me with the bottom deck, and she was like, "You're missing a spot here. There's a hole in here. You haven't secured this. You haven't screwed this into place. Yeah, no, this looks wrong. This is in the wrong spot." Picked it up and throws it out the way. No, you don't need that piece.
But it'd be good to have somebody to overlook what you're doing. Sometimes it could be helpful.
Oh yeah. I got a tree branches that grow in
Jumping
the
if he
shade.
says cats want to help, but I won't let them. Cats don't want to help. They just want you to get so far so they can knock it over.
Right. They want to jump up there and do their business right on the middle of the layout.
Well, that's what Pixie does. She jumps up on the coffee table while I do
That's
my
why
stuff.
cats are proof the earth is round, because if the earth were flat, cats would have pushed everything off of it by now.
Lehigh, yeah. Well, see, I don't have a wife. I don't even have my version of reader either. So I'm buggered. I'm screwed. It's all right. I'll get there somehow. I'll work out a way. And the worst part is, like, a lot of you guys, like Tom and Daryl and some of the others, where doing a multiple level like this, it's easy in some cases for you because you can actually bolt it into the wall.
Right.
I can't. I'm not allowed to do that because I'm renting here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. That's going to cause a whole heap of dramas. And
well, that you just have to make your bench work a little different. That's all.
Yeah. Now that scene looks good, but I'll tell you what. I've got to say this, Daryl. You're a truck driver, aren't you? Do you drive semi-trailers or not?
No, used to many years ago. That's when times were a lot different. We weren't really on-site shredding, and I would do tractor and trailer. But now it's just the normal bobtail, 26,000. 26,000 GVW. And like I said, this is what all the companies are using now. They're stepping away from 35,000 or 32,000 pound trucks because at 26 GVW, anybody can drive it. So it's what they call a U-Haul standard. Anybody can get it and move or drive. So
yeah, you don't need a.
That's right. You don't need a CDL for that.
Right.
And the taxes and CHP and the government, it's all way cheaper.
Well, the reason why I asked you, right? The reason why I asked you about that, I mean, being a truck driver myself, you always got to come up with finding a way that's going to make it easier for you to put a truck, particularly semi, in a certain location. Don't go there, Janet. Don't go there, otherwise I'll block you. Don't even go there. It's like this guy in a semi-trailer, and they're going to be nearly as bad as the guys doing delivery to my railway, to my engine facility here. They got a bugger of a spot to get into. My guys are going to have a hell of a time making a U-turn when there's a train sitting in the track, but.
Oh, no. I made sure that as a truck driver, I made sure that that tractor and trailer, that gasoline delivery truck, it comes in, it backs right into its spot. That's why I didn't pull out the doubles, because I have a doubles gasoline tanker, and there's just no way you can get. I mean, yeah, guys could do it, but like I said, that's why the bumpers are behind it. That's why there's a red curb. Yeah, it's a tight spot, but
Yeah, you got
here
the
it
palm
is
trees in the way.
again. Yeah, that large rock's in the way too. I didn't mean to put that big rock. Actually, that big
It's all
rock's
right, mate.
coming out of there. But yeah, I mean, there's more than enough room to back it in there.
Yeah.
It's a tight spot, but I've seen it. But
No, it's
in
all
the
right,
real,
mate.
yeah, in a realistic world, totally, it totally what you see there in the scene is totally doable. Now, like I said, I own doubles. There's just no way I could. I mean, doubles would look pretty cool in there, but no, that's not realistic.
Down here at Port Kembla Yard, I've got to say, out of all the train facilities that I went to, this one had to be the worst one. We had the 3801 steam engine stable down there, and of course, we had to deliver the coal to it. Now, I had a little bogey. You guys probably seen the photos in the streams. The little coal truck that I had, the little red Kenworth with the bogey trailer. Nice and short. You think you can... I pretty much got that into anywhere. Now, down at the Port Kembla Loco, where they wanted me to dump the coal, I tell you what, I had a nightmare of a spot to get into, and I go, who thought about putting it here? Oh, no, that's where they want us to put it. And I go, it's a nightmare, and this truck can go anywhere. The trailer was only 28 foot long, and I just could not get the swing because you had so many obstacles. You had sand pipes, fuel pipes, oil pipes, those bollards like what you have in the stands in the back there behind your tanker. And then you can't cross a certain line to make it turn. They just made it so awkward. About 10 goes later, I got the truck in there and took the coal out. Triples are illegal in California still, right? I wouldn't drive a triple in California. I wouldn't even drive a double in California. Anyway.
Yeah, no, they're not allowed here. You don't see them. You don't see them at all. And it's just like what Ian asked me. No, I don't. I put it in the chat, but no, I don't need. And that's the nice thing about this. I don't need the doctor to touch me every 2 years, and I don't. I don't need to do all that stuff. And that's what companies have gone to is 26 GVW because they can pay their employees cheaper. And their insurance is cheaper. Everything's cheaper with a 26,000 GVW. Now, granted, my business is okay doing that. But if you're owning a trucking company, that's a different story. You have no choice but to have 45, 53-foot trailers and tractor. You have no choice.
Right.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
And
it
just
depends
like
on the business. It depends on the business.
just like I put in the comments. Although, because I'm under DOT, which is Department of Transportation, I have to get once a year drug test for them.
Right.
And that's
all
easy.
right. Over here, they do it in random. The police do it.
And that's easy. I just have my wife pee in a cup. I'm good.
There you go.
You're gonna be. I tell you what, the problem is gonna be when you come back, tested that you're pregnant.
That's not going to happen.
That's going to be like, how do you explain this? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I've heard it happen a couple of times over here. So yeah.
I saw some
pregnant.
triples up on Route 80 not too long ago.
Well, they were for a while banned nationally, triples, but now it's state choice.
Yeah.
I don't know, Anthony. Do they pull triples in your state?
I don't notice. I don't see many. Doubles are about it. I don't know that they're banned in Ohio. You just don't see it. I know they're not banned in Indiana, and I think John Benicki just mentioned it.
So we're talking about the triples like those little 25-foot trailers? hooked up as triple
Just 3
trailers?
semi-trailers, boom, boom, boom. I don't know the sizes, but it used to be just the general size of a semi-truck.
Because I know you
in the
guys
70s, you could pull triples across country, and then we banned it because there were so many accidents and problems with them, and the braking systems weren't necessarily good. So when they had to slam on their brakes, the trailers went.
Yeah.
Well, so your brake, the American braking system in Australia is not compliant. So if we buy any equipment in the United States, we've got to change the braking system because it's not compliant in here.
So why not you just make it there, and then you don't have to worry about changing it?
Well,
see here under the CDL license, if you have air brakes, you have to. If you got a license, you have to get air brakes license. But because the truck's at 26,000 GVW, it doesn't require me to have an air brake license.
That makes sense, Dave.
Yeah, because like I said, they're U-Haul. U-Haul, I've had to rent U-Haul box trucks, and they're 26 GVW. They're all air brakes. They put anybody and everybody in those trucks. That's why I call the 26,000 U-Hauls, because anybody can drive it.
Right.
So you guys, if you guys talking about your doubles and triples, they're only those three 24-foot trailers. That's different compared to ours.
Yeah. Dave says only on the turnpike,
maybe twice a year at most.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, I don't explain to me what is a turnpike. I have no idea what a turnpike is.
Toll road highway.
Okay.
Like I-90 and I-80, which is north of you. In Ohio, they're a turnpike. So I-90 goes through Ohio, and it's a toll road.
Okay, Ohio. When I was looking that up on the map to go to Amherst on the flight,
west of the Mississippi, there are no turnpikes. It's all east of the Mississippi.
Yeah, the 90 was said it's a toll road,
and Pennsylvania is the worst.
Well, in New Jersey, we have a turnpike, we have a parkway. They're both toll roads.
Yeah, there are a couple up there that I got caught up on. There's not enough warning until you're actually on it. And if you're in a wrong lane, you can't get off it.
So what did George Garwin say about the parkway? Why do we drive on the parkway?
Why do we drive on the parkway and park on the driveway?
Yep. Right.
And turnpike is the bar. It's up and down.
Yeah, see, we have what they call toll roads here. We have the 73. I passed it on the way going to Costa Mesa, and for California, they're a failure because nobody's using them. So, there's nobody's using them.
Well, that's the same as what we got up in Sydney now. That the road that used to be free for us to use is the M5 tunnel, which comes from the Port Botany area, the airport area, which is the harbour and where the container ships come in. From there to get to the western side of the city, we used to use the tunnel. But now, since they've done up the roads there, they put a toll in there. And it costs like $30 in one direction for a truck to use. So they said, no, our rates are not going up. We're going back on using the old roads. So these trucks are going back through the old roads again. Mm-hmm. And they're not using the tolls. They're taking up to refuse it. But now they're putting up, if you're not going to use the toll roads, you're going to get $10,000 fine and go, well, we're not going to do it. You're not forcing us.
In New Jersey, all the bridges and tunnels and everything is toll one way. And that's out of New Jersey. Coming into New Jersey doesn't cost anything.
Now, I have a question for the turnpikes. Out here, if you own an all-electric vehicle, you can roam the one toll roll or the passenger lanes for free because you own an all-electric vehicle. Is that the same way on the turnpikes?
No, there's no specials.
Oh, okay.
Nothing special.
Here in California, if you have
in Ohio, it's by axle, so truck weight and axle. Now, Chicago used to have you pay for this bridge, you pay for this little road, you pay for that, and they've eliminated a lot of that. I remember even driving through Chicago 2004, 2005, 2006, we had to stop and pay all these places, and now a lot of them are no longer toll. Right. But Ohio, I-90 through Ohio is all toll, and it's based on the mile and the size. So your trucks and your regular pickup trucks and your regular cars and vans are one price, and then semis pay a different price. And
they pay per axle.
Yeah, you pay per axle.
Well, here pretty much. Well, here you got a price basically your cars and your trailers, and then your heavy vehicles. So you got 3 pricing structures. With the heavy vehicles like trucks and that, they just use the one price for everything. And regardless whether you're single trailer, like whether you're rigid or single trailer or B double, or now we've got these pocket trains that we've got running around in Sydney and on the freeway system, tollways, they're all the one price. Because now we're having these miniature, they're sort of like a road train setup, but they're about 4 foot long, shorter than a typical road train. And they're running around just to get those 40-foot containers, and they're working all right. But you got specific routes where you can. Hey, Les, where's my lunch? I'm still waiting for mine. Marty was supposed to bring it over. But
hey, Randall, there's Randall.
Yeah,
and Ray
Randall.
Bertelson. Hello, Ray Bertelson.
Oh, he's at work.
Hello, Randall, Ray Burleson. Hey, Les.
But that's one of the biggest reasons why I've walked down to Sydney. Just expensive, and we got tollways all over the place to get through, and the traffic has just gotten worse.
So if I understand this right, your tolls are based on weight?
Vehicle size.
Vehicle size.
Yeah. You got motorbike, cars with trailers, and then you got your heavy vehicles. You're basically 4 categories.
So what's an SUV considered?
A car.
No, they're bigger than a car.
They still classified as a car here.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, you see that it's still the one price. The SUV will get charged as the same one. If you start going to those mini buses or people movers, they're classified as a light vehicle as a heavy vehicle, so you get charged the same price as a heavy vehicle.
Right.
M5 got to pay same as a semi when pulling a caravan. Exactly, it is. But now it's worse. It's worse now. Don't use it. Massachusetts Turnpike was the best. Not only was there a toll, but they time stamped your ticket. They never done mine. Yeah. Well, actually, Steve, that's very interesting because they're toying with that idea here. Because we got these average speed cameras, point-to-point speed cameras.
They don't need cameras. They can, if you use the Easy Pass or whatever they might use in your area, like you have here in New Jersey.
We have Easy Pass.
They could do that. And, when they register when you went through, and then when you get to the next one, if you got there at 80 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour.
Back in the day, Ohio didn't have any special rules. There was just a damn state trooper every 10 miles waiting.
Right.
But
now you don't see them.
And back then in the 70s and the early 80s, Ohio State troopers wore Gestapo uniforms. They had black balloon pants, black jerseys.
Yeah, I remember.
And they came out. I remember my dad getting pulled over by an Ohio trooper on our way to Cleveland for a ball game. And that trooper just stepped out in the middle of the road. He just stood up in front of the car, put his hand out and pointed to the side. Mm-hmm. You pull over.
Right.
My dad's doing 70, and back then the speed limit was 65 on the turnpike, and they just nailed
you don't want to look. You won't want to see our Highway Patrol the way they were. I mean, some of them still are dressed like that. I mean, you watch the movies with the and the shots with the SS Gestapo with the balloon pants and flattened out hats and whatnot, except for our stuff.
I love driving in Wyoming a few years ago. A few years ago. It's 20 years. Yeah, it was 20 years ago this past summer. Back then, Wyoming had 90 mile an hour daylight, and they had certain stretches where there was no speed limit daylight hours.
Right.
70 at night, no speed limit of the day, or 90 on the main highways. That was fun, but it was nice and straight. I mean, Nebraska should be 100 miles an hour. That's just one straight
Right.
I-80 through Nebraska. To me, as long as it's flat road and straight. But of course, I'm biased because in Germany you have the Autobahn where they have a lot of areas that are no speed limits.
Yeah, unlimited. Yeah.
Well, we had that in Northern Territory. Basically going from Alice Springs to Darwin, we had no speed limit until a particular incident that happened there, with the Japanese in their Lamborghini wiping themselves out at 190, 180, 190 kilometers an hour.
I just thought of something. You said Autobahn, and then I just automatically thought Porsche. Now, Anthony, am I not correct? Is it the Porsche family that has a layout or no?
Yeah. I'm going to it this June.
Oh, you're going to it this June.
Yeah, it's called,
okay.
it's one member of the Porsche family, Hans-Peter Porsche. It's his toy collection and his love of toys. So he's got a massive toy museum there. And then in another room, they've got this massive layout of the Alps, the Swiss, German, and Austrian Alps. And it's called the Traumwerk. And it's all super high-end computerized layout. So we're going to be down in that area for about a week, and we're going to go to it. So we're going to be in Miniature Wonderland in the beginning of June, and then Traumwerk towards the end of June.
Nice.
Yeah, I heard you say Miniature Wonderland, but it's funny how I pulled Porsche out of the Autobahn, and then automatically I remember seeing a video on them actually building this. I never really remembered seeing anything else on it, but it's kind of funny how just all that kind of worked.
Actually, I mean, I guess maybe it's funny, but to me, it's logical, because when you think of high-speed cars and in Germany, you're thinking, you're going to think, if you said high-speed cars, Italy, you're going to be going Lamborghini, Ferrari. In Germany, you're going to think Porsche first, or maybe certain Audi.
Yeah. It was just kind of funny how I pulled that out of the hat, and it made me think, hey, there is a layout, and I believe it was the Porsche family. Well, I'll be looking forward to that.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to get to.
That's what I kind of remember as well. Huh. How interesting.
It's like 10, 15 miles north of the Austrian city of Salzburg. Berchtesgaden, the famous, which is most famous because that's where Hitler had his alpine vacation home, the Eagle's Nest. It's right in that area, but it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no train access to it. There's like one bus that starts at about 8 in the morning and stops at about 6 in the evening. So you either drive there or you take a bus there from Salzburg or this other town called Prien. And those are the two ways to get there. Or an Uber driver, or, but I'm very excited to see it.
I'd be very excited to see the video.
We're hitting 3 big layouts in Germany this year. We're going to Miniature Wonderland, which is the world's largest. And then we're going to the Märklin company down by Stuttgart, a little town called Göppingen, but it's suburbs of Stuttgart, which is where Märklin has one of their factories and has their museum. And they just built this gigantic layout in their museum using the same builders who built Traumwerk. So they've got this big fancy showroom layout. Now, it's not nearly as fancy as Traumwerk because it's also meant to be sort of a showroom to show off their different models. So we're going to hit that one, and then we're doing Traumwerk. So we're going to hit the 3 biggest public German layouts in Germany.
We are? Okay.
Well, if you're going to be there, I don't know. Are you going to come to Hamburg? Jean Ricard's meeting us in Hamburg.
Yeah, plan is. I mean, we're going to talk about it next week. So next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about it.
So you plan on going, Artie?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's going because he's got family in Croatia, and he's going to stop off in Germany on his way over there.
I'm going to start in Germany, work my way down to Croatia.
Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, so you can go over there, but you can't get to the United States?
Yeah.
Well, okay, never mind.
It's your system. It's your
not my system.
Yeah, it's the American system. You gotta love your American system that everyone relies on the computer and technology and emails and everything else like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
Robin
Birds
Taylor.
have a red flag for coming into the United States. That's why.
Robin,
All right,
Robin
Steve,
Taylor is right.
I can
There's a
even go to
great channel
China and North
if you're into
Korea if I
European
wanted
trains.
to.
Pylentum is an awesome
Wow.
channel. If you want to see all kinds of cool European train layouts, Pylentum
Yeah.
is an awesome channel.
There you go.
But yeah, they did a video of it. But you can just type in Traumwerk and see people's home movies of it. Or if you can't spell Traumwerk, I'll type it in the chat room. But it just means
I saw
DreamWorks.
that before. That was pretty awesome.
It's called Traumwerk. If you type that in, it'll take you to
Yeah,
it.
that's
But there's a video of the company building it, which is what Daryl's talking about. He saw the video where they were building it. I've got downloaded copies of it, stolen off of YouTube.
thanks for reminding me, Liz. I've got to get an update.
I've got all kinds of German TV shows that talk about, but they're in German. But this will be our 6th visit to Miniature Wonderland. This will be our 6th.
Yeah, I'm going to
I've
write
been to
that
Northlands
down.
once and Miniature Wonderland 6 times.
That's the Disney World for the train people, right?
Yeah, Miniature Wonderland. You don't have to be into trains. I took a group of 15 to 18 American teenagers at different times, ages 15 to 18 as well. So the number is 15 to 18. The ages are 15 to 18. Took them into a model train museum place. These are typical American teenagers, all right? By the time they were out of there, this was so cool. This was
right.
Because it's not just about trains. It's how animated it all is, how it all runs. They've got the world's largest model airport in there. And the fun thing is, if you stand there long enough, you will see the Millennium Falcon comes in. The bee from the old Gamera Mothra cartoons comes flying in. The space shuttle comes in now and then. And they just always throw surprises on there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, one of the things they do is they have little kid hide and seek stuff. So they'll give little kids booklets and say, try to find these different scenes. And there's thousands of joke scenes. And then there's also thousands of dirty joke scenes scattered throughout the layout. And it's just find the different jokes. You can spend a day there. I've been there 6 times. The longest I stayed there is about 6 hours in one stay. And we still don't get to see everything in one visit. And there's always a section you just kind of walk past and go, okay, I'll catch that next time. Or I've seen that 3 times. I'll skip it this time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it blows your mind. If anybody wants to I've got a 1-hour video on my channel of Joyce and I going through it in 2017, our second to last time we were there. But just to promote my video. But yeah, it's something else. And Northlands is cool, but imagine all the best modelers in the world building a layout together that is the size of 3 football fields.
Yeah, I've seen the videos on it. I've seen the behind videos on it. What's very interesting to me is the airplanes that come in and come out. I could sit and watch that video over and over and over again. And it was really interesting how many people it actually takes to run that operation, from cleaning to, I mean, just the lights on the trucks, the vehicles, everything that goes into that is it's just mind blowing.
And just to cause trouble, every one of those people is paid well. The cleaning staff, the wait staff, all these people, that is their, you're paid. That's your job. That's what you're expected to be able to live your life on. And they are paid well. And plus the brothers who run it, those guys could be billionaires if they weren't philanthropists. They give so much money away. It's ridiculous. And they make sure all their workers are paid, from the cashier to their head technicians. They pay their people. And I've been lucky. I've talked about before. I met one of the brothers one time. It was a complete accident. Joyce and I took a couple of right turns when we should have taken a couple of left turns, and bumped into one of the brothers. And instead of saying, "I'm sorry, I'm busy, you're in the wrong place," he stopped and chatted with us for 15 minutes.
Yep. See, that's the kind of people you like.
Yeah, they're the people you like to work for. And they but it's just an amazing place. And they don't sit on their laurels. They're constantly reinvesting. Like, okay, we built this area, it was great, but that was 5 years ago. It needs changed, it needs cleaned up. We're going to tear it down and remodel this. Oh, by the way, we just bought this building next door, and we're going to build all of South American Railway in it. which is what they've just opened up. They've got South America in there, and then they're doing parts of Africa, and they're going to do Asian down. I mean, these people already have 20 years down the road what they're planning.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, but it's amazing.
Did we lose Artie?
Yeah, he had to step out for a minute.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
He and his rabbit are arguing again.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, John, they're always expanding. That's just it. They're always expanding. Now they've just created this. You have to pay extra for it, which is a little surprising for them. But they've got this VR business, and you pay like $10 for half an hour or $25 for an hour, whatever it is. And you go into this one room, and it's VR, but they make you HO size, and you can go all around the layout and walk through the layout as if you were on it instead of walking around looking at it.
Mm.
Huh.
Now, I don't know if that sounds really cool or really silly, but it's one of the
No,
things.
I think it sounds pretty cool.
So you can actually just put on this headset, and they've got this giant room, and you walk around the room, and it puts you into the various sections of the layout. So you just walk around and, oh, look, I'm on the platform here in Sweden, or I'm on this.
John Vinicki. Rabbit did not want to take out the trash. Bear, come here. I'm going to teach you how to. Come here. I'm going to teach you how to take out the damn trash.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily every country, but they want to have every continent.
Yeah.
And my thing is, when they first started talking in 2014 about expanding into another building, and it took them like 4 years to work out the deal. And when they first started talking about that they wanted to expand, their original goal was that last room. They built part of France. They've got Monaco, which they're still they're still trying to finish. They want to have the Grand Prix of Monaco running. But it's not just little cars going in a circle. This is how these guys are. Anybody could put like a follow car system and just had some Formula One cars running the road in a simple circle. No, they want the cars pitting, passing, high speed in the corners, slowing down, speeding up, and it's taken them 4 years, and they're just now getting you'd have to watch all the videos where they explain how they built this system. Like literally every inch is an entirely new circuit board that is zoned, and the system has to read the car so it can tell that this car this time to speed up, or this car change past each other, this car go wide, this car go. The programming is insane, and they have, when they dreamed it, the technology didn't exist, so they've had to create the technology, and they're making it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're this close now. So I don't know that it'll be fully running, but they've already put the road in. They've said we're doing test runs and it's working now. But that's how they are. It can't just be a simple loop. They want it racing. They want this happening. They want random cars winning rather than just have a little 2 cars running around or 4 cars running around like a follower car system. They want it to be maxed out. But they were going to build France in the last room of the old building, and they announced they bought the new building, and they're going to build, and maybe you guys saw the video where they built the walkway between the buildings, because it's in a canal area, so there's canals, and so these are old warehouses from the 16, 17, and 1800s that were repurposed. And so originally there was talk that what they were going to do was end France, and then you have this doorway that goes into the next building, and they were going to do in England a UK layout there, and then the bridge would be the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they changed their minds because I guess they realized it would be that they would have, because everything's HO, anything that's UK trains is 00, and they didn't want that off scale.
Mm-hmm.
They would have had to literally try to create all new UK HO trains.
I'd be a bugger over there. I mean, one of the scenes I want to look at is a water scene with their ships and the boats and whatnot floating around. But I'd be a bugger. I'd use a submarine and simulate what they do at Melkara in Canberra, where they have war games and sink themselves. I wonder if one of those ships would actually sink. Well, put a submarine and torpedo the hole in it, and you see the big cruise liner sinking.
There you go.
You know, it's funny, Artie, that you actually said that because I actually saw that today. I actually saw there was one stall where this guy had waterway and he actually had boats all lit up, kind of running around in a small little circle. But it was still very toyish. So it's kind of interesting.
I might make it this year. I don't know. Down at Melcara in Canberra, it's a special school for special needs children. Let's put it that way. And they have an indoor heated swimming pool there, and you got a group of guys with model boats, with battleships, and what they do is they actually fire out ball bearings and whatnot, and they deliberately sink each other in the swimming pool. But you can imagine it. You know what it's like in winter time. Some poor buggers got to go in that swimming pool in the middle of winter to get it out. It's not so much when you're in the water because it's heated. It's when you come out. It's so cold. But
we did that, but we did it with firecrackers. I can't tell you. I had so little money as a kid, but then models were $2, and you bought a model, and we'd all build models, and somebody would have one of those little plastic circular pools or whatever, and we just put them in there, and we play naval battles, and we just light firecrackers, or if we really wanted to be crazy, an M80 and go incoming, right, and just blow up model ships. My dad would get so mad at us, dude, you wasted that money. I was like, but it was fun for 5 minutes, Dad.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. But that's a problem. It's very hard to get fireworks here now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're readily available over here.
Oh, over there, yeah, but over here it's...
Yeah, but we have crazy rules here. Like in Ohio, you can buy them, but you can't shoot them. And in Michigan, you can buy them and you can't shoot them. But if you buy them in Ohio and go to Michigan, you can shoot them. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid rules.
Yeah.
We used to have model rockets as a kid, and we used to put the M80s in there and shoot them up, and then they would explode and everything. That was pretty cool.
Well, we had wizard fights with Roman candles, man. We'd stand 10 feet apart and shoot the balls at each other because we were stupid. And that's why things get banned. Because some kids like, I wonder what happens if I hold the firecracker in my fingers while it explodes. You pull your damn fingers off, idiot.
Right. We used to take 22 bullets and put them on a rock and hit them with a hammer and watch them go.
Okay.
Yeah.
We put them on the rail tracks.
Yeah. Let me just
rail people really got nasty about that.
Les, in ACT in Northern Territory, the only people that can buy fireworks there are the people that are actually residents in those two states. If you're not a resident, you cannot purchase your fireworks. That they've actually clamped down on it because people were going there to buy fireworks, bring them up over here and selling them off. But yeah, it's you can get them if you get a permit and a license and everything else. But
that costs more than the fireworks.
Just about, yeah.
Because it was so funny. When I was younger, my brother-in-law, Joyce's sister's husband, my brother-in-law and I we couldn't buy him in Ohio. We were Ohio residents, so we couldn't buy him in Ohio, but we could go across the border to Michigan and buy him. So, and we would go across the border and we'd spend a couple of $100 and get Roman candles and big bottle rockets and that, because you didn't need a permit for anything below M80 or below. You didn't need. I believe it was M100, because what is it? M80 is a fifth of a stick of dynamite, and M100 is a quarter. And beginning with a quarter, you needed a permit.
Right.
But below that, it was okay.
Right. Below that was okay. Right. You still could blow yourself apart, but it was okay.
And we would just load up and entertain the family, and you'd shoot them all off, and nobody cared unless a neighbor. And if a neighbor called the cops would show up, and the cops were usually very cool about it. Every now and then they would be jerks.
Now,
But,
all our neighbors were shooting off fireworks anyway, so we didn't have to
yeah,
worry.
but there's like we had a party at my brother-in-law and his wife moved into a different town, and every July 4th we had the party either at our place or his place, and we had it at his place that year and shot the fireworks off and we're all sitting in a big circle, and a town's cop drove by and he saw us and he came out and said, "Are you people you do know that's illegal here, don't you?" "Oh, really? No." "How long have you lived?" And it's like, "He lives here, we're just visiting." We're like, him, his house, we're just visitors.
Well, we had to drive from New Jersey all the way to South Carolina because there was nothing around that would sell fireworks. We had to go to South Carolina to get our fireworks.
Yeah. Well, we're if we set off fireworks here in the football field across the road, we've got an old lady up the road that will have us reporting straight away. But we can't get in across the road at the moment. It's just a little bit waterlogged again.
Yeah.
We should have a look at some of the 187. Oh yes, I'll have to have a look at that, Marty. You're gonna have to come up and show it to us one Sunday when you got time. That'd be neat.
When I talk about my Fowler car system problem, since I tried to make it even fancier, people have said, "Oh, well, just get the 187 remote controls and do it." The problem is, you do have to actually control them. Whereas the Fowler car, you can turn them on and just let them run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd love to get good night, Jim. I'd love to get a hold of some of the 1 in 87 as a front end loader, an excavator, and a drag line. A guy does it in Germany. I'd love to get a set of them for the layout, and hopefully get a remote control truck as well, dump truck. That'd be really good. It'd give us something extra to play with on the layout, but that's somewhere down the track. Stupid people, but yeah, well, we got stupid people everywhere. But
but that's the problem,
Well, the stupid people are why we have these rules. That's
right. I mean, nobody sits down and says, "I'm going to make a rule to take away everybody's fun." It's a lot of people do something stupid. You say, "Well, to protect people from themselves," and you get torn. Should we have laws to protect people, or should we allow Darwinism to win out? Although technically it's not Darwinism, but you get the idea. If stupid people want to do something stupid, let them. The problem is stupid people take innocent, not stupid people out with them sometimes.
Right. They make the news too.
Yeah.
And that exploits it.
Well, that's everything. It was like back in the totally unrelated, but back in the 50s when all these teenage crime, criminal teenagers were reading comic books. So comic books must be causing the crime wave. And it's like, no, plenty of good kids were reading the comic books, but that didn't make the media,
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's what happens anyway. Well, anyway, guys, it's coming up to 2 hours. I still got things I need to get done because I've only got Monday, Tuesday, just 2 days to get things done, 2.5 days to get things done before I got it down to also a little bit. So I want to get as much done as I possibly can. People, thank you for coming to the show. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully those who have been in the mopes and dopes and down in in the unhappy state, hopefully you guys got cheered up a bit with our crappy talking. I'll be on again next week. Thank you, John Benicki. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because this will be my last one, hopefully.
Yeah, good luck, man.
So I can get back to work. So,
keep us posted on how you make out there, Artie.
I will. I should be able to come up on to whoever's doing the cab crew.
And I'm just going to tell you now, Artie, from the time you check in to the time you're sent back home, no stories about pretty nurses unless you've got pictures to back it up.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we'll work on that. No problem. Yeah, I'll work on that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate I'm not going to be getting a sponge bath because I'm not I'm not going to be there that long. Damn it. But anyway, again, thank you, people. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll try to catch up to everybody during the week. If not, we'll catch up to you guys next weekend. Show
they don't have
in
uniforms
uniform.
anymore.
Bernard, you're quick off the mark. You're a bugger. What, in uniform? You want her in uniform? You sure?
Well, they
you
just
want
wear scrubs anymore. It's not, remember back in the 70s, nurses wore those. I mean, it was kind of sexist, but they wore the short little dresses, and,
Right.
Yeah, but hang on, Bernard. This hospital is at the red light district of King's Cross in Sydney. So be careful of asking about their uniforms. Marty will know about King's Cross, and so does Les and Robin.
But you want the naughty nurse, do you? Okay, we're with you now.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Have fun and take care, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.